All right, everyone. Today we're going to tackle a really important topic, myocardial infarction. You know, a heart attack. We're going to break it down so it's super clear, looking at exactly what happens to the heart when its blood supply gets cut off, and most importantly, how we manage it. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll get right into what's happening to the heart muscle itself. Then, we'll cover the why and the what, the causes, and those all-important warning signs. From there, it's all about action, diagnosis, and emergency response. And finally, we'll wrap up with how to protect the heart long-term. It's really the whole journey, from the moment of crisis all the way to chronic care. All right, first things first. Let's define exactly what a myocardial infarction is. What is actually going on inside the body when someone's having a heart attack? So here's the bottom line. A myocardial infarction, or MI, is basically a plumbing issue. See, your heart is this incredible muscle, right? And it needs a non-stop supply of oxygen-rich blood to do its job. But when the blood flow in one of its own arteries gets blocked, well, that part of the heart muscle starts to starve for oxygen. And when that happens, the muscle tissue begins to die. That's what infarction really means, tissue death. And this is a fantastic way to think about it. Imagine the coronary arteries are the fuel lines to an engine, the engine being your heart. If one of those lines gets clogged, the part of the engine it's supposed to fuel just sputters and starts to fail. That is exactly what's happening to the heart muscle during a heart attack. Okay, so we know what a heart attack is, but how does that blockage happen in the first place? And just as important, what are the warning signs the body gives us? Let's get into that. So this isn't something that happens overnight. It's usually a 3-step cascade of events that's been building for years. Step 1, it all starts with atherosclerosis. That's just a fancy word for fatty deposits or plaque building up inside the arteries, kind of like rust in a pipe. Then step 2. One of those plaques suddenly cracks open or ruptures. The body, thinks it's an injury, so it does what it's supposed to do and rushes to form a blood clot to patch it up. And that's step 3. That blood clot is what can grow large enough to completely block the artery. And boom, that's when the heart attack begins. Now, this is super important. We all think of that classic elephant sitting on my chest kind of pain, and yeah, that's a big one. But look at the variety here. We're talking radiating pain, shortness of breath, even cold sweats. And pay close attention to this. Symptoms like nausea, vomiting, and just extreme fatigue are often more common in women. Recognizing that a heart attack doesn't always look the same for everyone is absolutely crucial. It can literally save a life. And you have to remember this. Not every heart attack is a big, dramatic Hollywood scene. Some are silent. The symptoms can be really subtle or easy to mistake for something else. This is a huge risk, especially for patients with diabetes, because nerve damage can actually mask the pain signals. It's a really dangerous scenario. Okay, so someone shows up with these symptoms. The clock is officially ticking. Every second counts. So how do we confirm it's a heart attack? And what's the immediate, life-saving game plan? All right, there's a key trio of diagnostic tools we rely on. First up is the EKG, or electrocardiogram. It gives us a super fast snapshot of the heart's electrical activity to look for signs of damage. Second, we do a blood test for something called troponin. It's a protein that heart muscle cells release when they're dying, so if we see it in the blood, that's a huge red flag. And third, to get the full picture, there's the angiogram. Think of it like a GPS for the heart's arteries. We inject a special dye and use x-rays to see exactly where that blockage is. Okay, for emergency treatment, there's a classic mnemonic that every healthcare professional knows. It helps guide that initial critical response to stabilize the patient. And that acronym is MONA. Each letter in MONA stands for something we do right away to help the patient and protect the heart muscle. M is for morphine, that's for the severe pain and to reduce stress on the heart. O is for oxygen, but only if the patient's oxygen levels are actually low. N is for nitroglycerin, which helps open up those blood vessels to ease chest pain. And A is for aspirin, which is vital for preventing that blood clot from getting any worse. It's a really powerful combo to start with. So, once the immediate danger is over and blood flow is back, the job isn't done, not even close. The focus makes a huge shift from crisis management to long-term protection. Now, it's all about making sure this doesn't happen again. Think of these long-term meds as a protective shield for the heart. Each one has a very specific job. You've got antiplatelets like aspirin to keep new clots from forming. Beta blockers basically tell the heart, hey, slow down, take it easy, which lowers its workload and gives it time to heal. Then there are ACE inhibitors, which are great for helping the heart muscle remodel and for keeping blood pressure in check. And of course, statins. They go after the root of the problem by lowering the cholesterol that forms those dangerous plaques in the first place. But listen, pills are only half the battle. These lifestyle changes are just as critical, maybe even more so. This is where the patient really takes control. Taking all your meds like you're supposed to, quitting smoking immediately, eating a heart-healthy diet, and getting regular doctor-approved exercise, these are the absolute cornerstones of long-term survival. And this right here, this is one of the single most life-saving pieces of information a patient can have. They need to know exactly what to do if that chest pain comes back, how to use their sublingual nitroglycerin, and this is the key part, when to stop and call 911. Knowing that rule, no relief after the first dose means you call for help, that can be the difference between life and death. All right, we've covered a ton of ground, so let's do a quick flyby and recap the entire journey, boiling it all down to the key takeaways. So let's put it all together. The what? Damage to the heart muscle from a lack of blood flow. The why? A blood clot that forms on a ruptured plaque. The signs, you gotta know them. Chest pain, shortness of breath, nausea, they can vary. The emergency response? Mona. And the long-term plan? A cocktail of meds, antiplatelets, beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, statins, plus those huge lifestyle changes. That's the whole roadmap, from the initial crisis all the way to prevention. So that brings us to the final question. What's the single most important piece of advice a patient needs? I think it all comes down to one thing: empowerment. Remember, a heart attack happens when blood flow to the heart gets blocked. The key is to recognize the symptoms, act fast, and then stick to the plan your doctor gives you to protect your heart going forward. Stay informed and stay healthy. And hey, if you're liking our efforts to simplify pharmacy one topic at a time, be sure to subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.